If you love the thermal stitch as much as I do, stay tuned because I've got a mind-blowing technique for thermal stitch that you're just gonna love. Okay, I've already taught you in a previous video how to do thermal stitch, regular, both sides the same, and how to change colors and bring the unused color up the side so you've got stripes. But I've got something so very, very exciting today to show you. This is thermal stitch, but it's a different color on each side. Isn't that cool? And when I was doing this, per a request by Heather on my YouTube channel, I decided, why not do some patterns on each side? So I did. I did a diagonal and a solid. I did a checkerboard and a solid. I did a diamond and a solid. And I did an X and a solid. And then I thought, well, if you can do a pattern on one side, why not a pattern on both sides? So here's my diamond pot holder on one side and checkerboard on the other. Isn't that cool? I love it. And then here's another one with some zigzags and really cool zigzags and diamonds on the other. So if you want to take your thermal stitch pot holders to the next level by incorporating tapestry crochet in them, I'm here to show you how to do it. So let's get started. Really, this technique is marrying the thermal stitch with tapestry crochet. And if you don't know either of those techniques yet, go ahead and watch my videos for those. I'll put a link in the video description and a little information link in the corner of the video here for each of those videos. So you can watch either of those. But what we're going to do is we're starting with our foundation chains, and then we're going to work our first row of single crochet. But since we're using the tapestry crochet technique along with the thermal stitch, I'm going to carry my contrasting color in my first row and work over it. So we're going to go ahead and do our single crochets in each of those chains all the way across, carrying our contrasting color. Whether we're working with light or dark, our contrasting color is the opposite. So I could work this first row with my light color and carry my dark color. But I have started the first row with the dark color and I'm carrying my light. And this is how you would do the thermal stitch pot holder or coaster with two different colored sides. I'm not going to change colors on this row. I'm simply working each of my single crochets into each of my chains and carrying my other color in there and working over that color so that it gets encased inside of my stitches. So I'm almost to the end, got my last two chains, and then I will change colors in the last chain. So here's my insert hook and drop a loop, and I would normally yarn over and draw through both of those loops, but I'm going to drop my dark color and I'm going to drop it to the front over my light color, and that's really important so that your stitches look correct on the other side. Then I will yarn over and draw through my last two loops to finish my single crochet with my other color, and I'm going to tug on this a little bit to make sure that this last stitch doesn't get too tall. And then I'm also going to tug on my light color a little bit to make sure that it doesn't get bunched up in here. And now I can chain one and turn, and this is my dark color that I just dropped, so I will carry that between the two loops that I'm going to be working into. So we're going to do our thermal stitch as usual and we're going to work over that carried color, encasing it all the way across. So remember, with our thermal stitch, we're going in that back loop and the unused loop of the row below. So this is how we're going to do each of our stitches across the row. And then I will show you on the next row how to change colors throughout the row. So I'll finish this whole row and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at my last stitch on my second row, and I'll go ahead and insert my hook under both of those loops and pull up a loop, and then I'm going to drop this color to the front, going over the dark color, and pick up the dark color to do the next row. And I'll make sure that that's not too short or too tall, and chain one with my new color and turn. Now I'm going to show you how you can change colors across the row. We'll go ahead and do the first stitch in the dark color, and then we'll do the second stitch in the dark color, and we'll go ahead and change colors to the light. Now, just the same way as the end, you're going to take your old color and drape it to the front, and then you'll pick up the other color and finish your stitch. Shorten that a little bit. You can actually tug on this a little bit to make sure it's not bunched up in there, and do your next stitch over your new contrasting color. You're either working light over dark or dark over light, and you're encasing that yarn all the way across. So let's go ahead and do another color change here. I'll bring this color to the front, crossing it over the old color, and finish that stitch. Now when you're doing that and you're crossing it over, it's finishing this part of the stitch on the back side. If you don't do that, you don't get this part of the stitch on the back side showing up. So you want to always remember to do that. You tug this a little bit. I've already shortened that a little bit, and I can do my next stitch. Okay, we're still going in the same loops as we do in regular thermal stitch, but we are carrying the other color yarn across. So I'll go ahead and change colors again, cross it to the front over the other color, pick up the other color and finish the stitch. Tug on this a little bit to shorten it, and tug on this a little bit to make sure that it's not too bunched up in there. That also shortens this little piece right in here so that you don't have this huge color going across there. It just makes it neater to do it in that order. You shorten this one a little bit and then you tug on this a little bit. So we can do a couple more stitches here, and then we'll change colors again. Now I have a bunch of charts for these color changes and these different patterns on my website, and the charts have all the different colored squares, so you'll know following the charts where to change colors. I'll change color again here and do my last two stitches in the dark. Shorten this a little bit, tug on that a little bit. You don't want to ever tug too tight because you'll make your rows too narrow. So working this, you just practice to get the right tension on it. There's our two stitches and our carried yarn. Two loops of the stitch, I should say. And we'll do that stitch. And now I'm going to show you at the end. I'm not going to change color here. Okay, here's my last loop here and the loop on the stitch below. Sometimes it's hard to find the last one. But I'll go ahead and I'm not going to change colors on here. And I want to show you what to do if you're not changing colors when you get to the end of this row and you're going to start your next row. You still want to cross the yarns over each other. So I'm going to take this yarn, put it over here. I'm going to take the other one and cross it over, and then finish I'll chain one encasing that yarn, and it's already going towards the side I want it to be on. Now I also want to show you, since you're always crossing the yarns the same direction when you're making all these color changes, you will have to periodically take one of your yarns and undo that twisting. Okay, so just to let you know that, and then I would be ready to start my next row. So this is what your stitches will look like on that side. I'm also, since I'm working my stitches from here to here, when I'm looking at my chart, I'm looking at the left hand edge of my chart and going to the right hand edge of my chart. Now if you're left-handed, you can look at the right hand edge of your chart and go to the left hand edge of your chart. So this is how you work in Tapestry Thermal Stitch, doing whatever kind of color changes there are on your chart, whether you're doing a checkerboard pattern or a diagonal pattern or any kind of pattern, whether you're just doing the two different sides or different patterns. The sky's the limit. So is your mind blown on this Tapestry Thermal Stitch? I hope you'll give it a try soon. As you saw in the video, I have some patterns available on my website for Tapestry Thermal Stitch potholders and coasters. The link is in the video description below, along with a 20% off code to use for any of these patterns on my website during the month of June 2023. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of my crochet videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and happy Tapestry Thermal Stitch crocheting to all of you. Mind blowing!